The lighting analysis render element provides a visual representation of the light intensity in your render, so that you can accurately measure the light levels in your scene. To use it, open up the V-Ray settings and head to the Render Elements tab. Then add the V-Ray Lighting Analysis render element from the list. Before you start rendering, you may also want to go through your glass materials and set the refraction settings to affect all channels. This will make it so that the lighting analysis includes information for areas that are behind glass objects. For this scene, let's open up the material editor and change the refraction settings for the glass interior and the glass exterior materials. Next, close the material editor and start a production render. Let's wait until the image is relatively noise-free and then stop the render. Keep in mind that the V-Ray Lighting Analysis render element is a post effect, so it is only updated once the rendering is complete or stopped. During the render process, it may display an approximation of its analysis, but this information should not be interpreted as the final result. Now, let's switch to the V-Ray Lighting Analysis render element in the VFB. Since it doesn't give us a lot of information, we can adjust its range to gather more details. To do so, scroll down in the V-Ray settings for the Lighting Analysis render element. Here, you can make any desired changes and then simply press Update to apply them. You don't need to re-render in order for the changes to take place. In this case, I'm going to change the max value from 400 to 600, then click Update. Let's also change the min value from 260 to 0 and hit Update again. Now, if we check Draw Legend and hit Update, we can see the legend map of the false colors at the bottom of the render. There are also two modes for displaying the data, false colors and grid overlay. Let's switch over to the grid overlay display mode and then press Update. We can also change the grid spacing to generate more grid points across the frame. I'll switch to 20 by 20 pixels and then hit Update once again. Now, simply zoom in to inspect the lighting analysis. We can also use the V-Ray Light Meter to evaluate how a scene is illuminated. First, in the Create menu, under Helpers, select V-Ray from the dropdown and choose the V-Ray Light Meter. Place the V-Ray Light Meter in the scene and then draw out the region where you want to measure light. Next, in the Light Meter's Modifier panel, click the Calculate button at the bottom to see the results. You can then adjust the pseudo-color parameters, which control how the light meter's gradient is displayed. For example, let's tighten the color range of the gradient by decreasing the max illumination displayed in lux to 3000. This will depict the variation in illumination in more detail.